just don't look at it. Got the
Here, Welcome back, diving fans. We are live from Auburn, and this is the men's 1 meter springboard final. 8 divers made it through an incredibly strong field of 28 divers this morning. We saw some of the world's hardest dives performed incredibly well. So this is going to be an exciting one. Joining me in the booth, Kerry Karkuska, former Purdue diver.
Excited to be here. We had a great women's 1 meter competition, and looking at the list that these men have that they're going to compete tonight and what they competed this morning, it's going to be exciting.
And just finished the women's event about 30 minutes ago. Anna Kwong with a crazy high DD in the final round to take her first national championship title. Kicking it off, Jacob Jones, front 2.5 pike.
Great opening dive for Jacob. These men get such incredible height off of the board and make these dives look so easy.
Off to a flyer from Jacob Jones. 7.5s and 8s in there for a 59.8. Preliminary scores do carry to the final, so these first few divers have to go out and attack these dives if they want to move up leaderboard. Holden Higby in with 2.5 tuck, currently diving for Purdue.
Good start from Holden, just a little bit past vertical on the bottom. Those senior national final jitters probably taking effect just a little there.
Little bit of a miss for Holden there. His head was down from the start. Just rolling that dive over. And up next we have Maxwell Flory, a twister to start his repertoire.
Nice dive from Holden. His toes were over the edge of the board on that setup. Still was able to take it up and land pretty vertically and clean.
And already just 3 dives in. This is so many somersaults and twists.
So many
from the 1 meter springboard.
Yeah, these men are so powerful. Just 3 feet off the water. And the majority of the dives we're going to see here tonight are going to be a 3.0 degree of difficulty or greater.
Nicholas Harris, 3rd in this event in 2023, back in a final.
Beautiful opening dive. You know, that was not a great hurdle for him. He was a little back on the edge of the board, still managed to dip the board into the water. It's the kind of power these guys have.
And just a little bit of the toes coming apart there on that second twist.
When the judges are this close, they're going to see those little mistakes.
58.5 for Nicholas. When you're in a men's 1 meter final going for the podium, I like to think of that 60-point range of your. It's kind of what you're trying to get on each dive.
Even back from the edge of the board, he came out so early, looked at that lineup for a beautiful entry on that first dive.
And he released his pike so early.
So early.
That second rotation was completely open. Cool style there from Collier, who has just been getting better and better the last couple of seasons. Making finals like this, he has incredibly difficult dives on all events.
Jack Ryan.
Speaking of incredibly difficult dives.
Jack Ryan from Stanford. Forward 2.5 with 1 twist. High DD to start this final.
Beautiful dive, a touch short of vertical on that entry, but still very clean.
Judges awards.
Beautiful toe point.
6.5, 6.5, 5.5, 6, 5.5.
He took first place at the Winter Nationals just a few months ago. Been having a great couple of seasons. Now Maxwell Miller, fantastic prelim for him.
Wow. Great opening dive. Such height off the board. Beautiful toe point. Really kept his feet together the entire time.
And kicks off this final the same way as his preliminary. Highest scoring dive of the round so far for Max Miller.
Like you said, looking for those 60-point ranges for the men that are in contention to win.
Lyle Yost, 51-52B.
Lyle Yost, top qualifier.
Great opening dive for Lyle.
Judges awards 7.
NCAA champion on the 1 meter, 2024 and 2023. When it comes to 1 meter diving, Lyle Yost is the man to beat.
Yes, this is his specialty. He has one of the highest degrees of difficulty in the world.
Starting round 2.
Kicks it off with a 68.8. Top of the order now, Jacob Jones. Grew up diving in Texas.
Fantastic dive from Jacob. Great tuck. Fantastic entry into the water.
8 across the board for Jacob Jones in his first senior national final.
Good for him. What an awesome
He comes in and he says,
dive.
I don't want to finish 8th. I want to move up this leaderboard.
That's right.
Holden, 107C.
Holden. He was the miss of round 1. Wants to pull it back here. His forward 3.5 tuck.
Good start off of the board. A little bit early on that come out, leaving it a little bit short.
And sometimes if you come in, first dive shaky, it's hard to recompose.
It is.
Maxwell Flory.
Max, 405C.
Max is an all-rounder. He's been to the World Championships for Team USA on the platform. But he can do it all.
Great inward 2.5 tuck. High, nice tight tuck. Great entry.
7.
And these guys aren't messing around. They've come out of the block.
Total award 66.65.
Not a huge point discrepancy going into the finals between first and 5th place. Lots of place for people to move around.
Nick, 405C.
Nicholas Harris, featured in an NCAA final in his collegiate career. Very solid prelim from him this morning. Qualified here in 5th.
Beautiful inward 2.5. So much power off the board.
Judges award 6.5. 7.
Really solid diving going on.
7.5. Total award 66.65.
Lots of these inward 2.5 tucks here in the second round.
Collier Dyer now.
405C.
Also a diving all-rounder. Competes in all 3 events. Does some of the hardest dives in the world.
So fast, such a quick spin. He comes out and looks at that entry. Hikes out of the inward 2.5 tuck on 1 meter.
And
So
Kerry,
impressive.
we're into the 70s.
We have hit a 70.
7.5. 8.
I think Collier is the fastest somersaulter in USA diving. When he gets in that tuck, it's like Sonic the Hedgehog. Jack Ryan now.
Jack, 405C.
A little bit short on his full out in round 1. Inward 2.5 tuck for his second round.
Such a beautiful start. Just a little bit late on that entry. Over rotation. Not the entry he was looking for.
And we spoke about this one yesterday. When you get into a final, when the pressure's on, you have more adrenaline.
Yes.
And you can see he was jumping higher, spinning faster than this morning. You have to learn to control that physical difference. Diving in the morning versus diving in the evening.
Really difficult.
Max Miller now. Trying to put the pressure on Lyle Yost. Been doing a good job of that so far.
Beautiful dive. Great start. Nice tight tuck. Hiked out of it. Took a look at that entry.
Judges awards 8.
He actually
7.
pulled up a couple of 9s for this in the prelim. Wasn't quite so good in the final, but still 65.1. It's a steady dive.
Solid second round dive for Max.
Let's see what Lyle Yost can do. This forward 3.5
107B.
was a small drop for him in the prelims.
Front 3.5 pike, and he came out and looked at the bottom of it.
It's funny, Kerry, sometimes you look at Lyle's list and it looks like it's a 3-meter list.
It really does.
You can't believe some of the difficult dives he's doing from just 1 meter. But small miss on that round puts Max Miller into the lead by 1/10 of a point. There's absolutely nothing in this final.
Jacob,
2 rounds in. Jacob Jones. Great second round dive from him. Sitting in 7th.
And he took that confidence into this third round. Beautiful reverse 2.5 from him.
Judges awards.
He looks good out there.
Yeah, you can see the confidence growing.
7.5, 7. Total awards.
And
63.
making your first senior national final, taking that home. So much confidence for the future.
Yes, and a sigh of relief to have the first one under your belt.
Holden. 203B.
Holden Higby, back 1.5 pike. A lower DD on the back 1.5. Just a 2.3. Coached at Purdue by American diving legend David Budaya, Olympic gold medalist in 2012.
Holden had a first 2 rounds were a little rough. Good to see him hit.
Judges awards. 7.
He's back.
Third
8's
dive.
on the board.
He's back. 8's on the board.
8. 7.5. Total
Good stuff from Holden Higby.
2.90.
As we've talked about before, doing those lower degrees of difficulty dives pay off when you do them very well.
Max 107C.
Max Flory now, forward 3.5 tuck.
Little bit of a rough start with his hurdle. He was able to muscle it around and maybe just a little too much on the bottom for a little bit of over rotation.
5, 4.5, 6, 5.5.
By Max's standards, definitely a drop that round. Like you said, didn't quite connect with the springboard how he'd like to. Didn't quite get into the air, get that height.
But how impressive to still be able to finish that dive on a rough hurdle.
Nicholas Harris, second diver from the University of Texas, diving with his teammate Jacob in this final.
Really nice start. Kicked maybe a pinch late, a little bit of over rotation, but a good knee save underwater to keep that 7. The judges liked it.
7, 60.
And halfway through his competition,
63.
he's in good shape. First place with 4 more divers to come. Could Nicholas Harris sneak onto the podium today?
Collier 305C.
Been there before. Collier Dyer now, reverse 2.5 tuck.
Wow. Beautiful dive. Everybody wants to be on the podium tonight.
And they're handling their blind entry dives, the back and reverse entries very well.
Yes.
Of course, technically more difficult to dive when you're lining up backwards. You cannot see the water in those last few moments.
They're spotting well and seem to be feeling confident.
Jack Ryan needs a good one. After that miss in round 2, forward 3.5 tuck.
Such a beautiful start, little bit late coming out, over rotation.
Judges awards 5.5, 6, 6.
Jack does a forward 4.5 on the 3-meter springboard, which we'll be seeing from him in the next few days. You can see why.
Absolutely. Just a fantastic somersault.
Perhaps jumping the highest out of all the divers in this men's 1-meter final.
5B.
Max Miller has the lead by a margin.
Fantastic start. Came out of that way too late for the height and rotation he had. That is a miss for Max.
Judges awards 4, 4.
And perhaps just some pressure.
Yeah.
3 1 half. Total 27.
This does happen at this level still.
Absolutely. But the door opened for some other divers.
Absolutely. But of course, Max is not out of it.
No, anything can happen.
Still in a great position on the leaderboard. But Lyle Yost has a chance now to capitalize on some mistakes and extend his lead if this one is good.
Great start. That is a huge dive. Left it a little bit short of vertical, but back 2.5 pike on 1 meter is so impressive.
Judges awards 4 1
And another dive missed.
4 1 half. 4 5 4 1
He did this dive very well in the prelims.
43.2.
They are keeping it interesting.
But Yost does take the lead back. And now it's Collier Dyer in second place.
Round 4. Jacob.
And only 1 point separating third and fourth.
Jacob Jones starting the fourth round. He's been so solid in this final. Great reverse 2.5 in the last round. Jumped up to sixth now. He's climbing the ladder.
Great dive. Lost his feet just a tiny bit there on the entry, but
Awards 7 1 half. 8 1 half.
we saw some
8
eights.
8 7 1 half.
And choosing to go with an inward 1.5,
56.
an easier dive than a lot of the inward 2.5s that we've seen, but when you score 8s,
It's a good plan.
it's a good plan of action.
35D.
We've seen some misses on those inward 2.5s today. Holden, reverse 1.5, 2.5 twists.
Little bit of rough board work, but ended that dive with a fantastic entry.
Judges award 7 7 7 1 half. 7 1 half.
And Holden's not giving up.
No, he has come back strong after those first 2 rounds.
Shows experience with the toes hanging off the end of the board like that.
Yes.
Putting it in for 7.5s, 64.5 points.
Max 205C.
Max Flory now. Back 2.5 tuck.
Really nice dive from Max Flory. Touch late on his come out, leaving it just a little bit past vertical, but with a good knee save.
Judges award 6 1 half. 6 1 half.
6s and 6.5s from the judges. From Max Flory.
5-0.
Took an ACC platform win earlier this year.
He is good at every level.
We'll be seeing him on the platform in just a few days' time.
305C.
Now, Nicholas Harris. He's in a good spot.
Great setup, beautiful tuck, saw his spot, and landed vertically.
6 1 half. 6 1 half. 7.
Third in this event in 2023.
Total award 61.
He's right there.
It's right there.
Perhaps another opportunity for Nicholas Harris to make a national podium. Collier Dyer now,
Collier 205C.
qualified in fourth, but is now currently sitting in second.
Great start, late coming out with a pull on the bottom. That is his first miss of the competition.
3 1/2, 3 1/2, 3 1/2.
Seemed like he just
Total report 28.
pulled his shoulders back on the takeoff.
Yep.
There's so much adrenaline when there's medals on the line, podium spots on the line.
And these big dives require some adrenaline to make them happen. It's learning to control it.
Jack Ryan. Let's see what he can do with his back 2.5 tuck.
Beautiful dive, good start, nice tuck. Touch short of vertical, but
6 1/2, 6 1/2, 7.
I'm nitpicking that dive.
7 1/2,
Jack actually grabbed a bronze medal
63.
on the international stage for Team USA a few weeks ago in the World Cup in Windsor, Canada. Synchro partner Quentin Henninger, who is not diving at these championships,
Max.
focusing on a summer internship, but he will be back. Max Miller. Can he accelerate back into this competition? Missed in the previous round.
Good start, out early on that. Come out, leaving that dive very short.
2 1/2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2 1/2. Total award.
6-time junior national champion. Hard to do at the senior level. Lyle Yost now.
Lyle. 305B.
Reverse 2.5 pike. Another one of his Mega DD dives.
He is so strong.
He actually scored 9s on this in the prelims, 86.4. It's not going to get 9s today,
Yes, only a miss compared to 9.
6 1/2, 6.
but with that Mega DD, he is back in the lead.
2-0.
And now it's Nicholas Harris sat in the silver medal position. This leaderboard is
Jake.
changing.
Shaking up every round with 2 rounds to go.
And here's a diver who started in 8th, finds himself in 5th after 4 dives. Jacob Jones.
He is having a really great meet.
Judges award 6, 6, 6, 6 1/2, 6, 7, 6 1/2.
Just incredibly consistent.
7, 3, 5.
Jacob is going to be very happy with this performance.
Holden. 305C.
Holden Higby now, reverse 2.5 tuck. Struggled in some of the earlier rounds. He's in 8th. Reverse 2.5 tuck.
That was a great save by Holden. He was all the way to the edge of the board and his toes were over, and he still did a great dive.
6 1/2, 7 1/2, 6 1/2. Total award 58.50.
Veteran diving right there.
And that is hard to do.
Yes.
Speaking of hard to do,
Max.
Max Flory, reverse 2.5 pike. 3.2 DD.
As his toes were so far over the board, he was unable to complete the dive. The judges have declared that a failed dive.
And so unfortunate for Max. He will be back in the 3 meter in the platform event, but
Tough.
this is diving.
It is.
When you do a dive like reverse 2.5 pike, you need a good hurdle.
Nick, 107C.
Moving on to Nicholas Harris. Finished the last round in second.
And he wants to stay up on that podium. Beautiful front 3.5.
Judges award 7.5, 8, 7.5, 7.5, 7, 7.5.
A good day at the office for both divers from Texas so far.
They are diving well.
Collier Dyer now has been as high as second.
Collier.
Finished the last round in fourth. Missed that back 2.5. Forward 3.5 tuck now.
Beautiful setup. Fantastic front 3.5. We're going to see big scores here.
Judges
And that is how you redeem yourself.
Yes.
8, 7.5, 8. Total award 7.
Leaving each dive in the round behind you and moving on and executing the next dive. And he just did that so well.
8 from the judges, 72. Great round for Collier Dyer.
305C.
This is Jack Ryan now. Reverse 2.5 tuck.
Such incredible height, beautiful spin, fantastic entry.
Judges awards 8,
It's our first 9 of the night.
8, 8.
And what a time to do it. Qualified in third. Not quite the same level of diving as he did in the prelim up until now. That reverse 2.5 was great.
Max.
Needed that one to give himself a podium shot. Max Miller.
And such a beautiful answer to that 4th round miss.
Judges awards 9.
Dive of the day.
Dive of the day so
Max
far.
Miller. Such a shame about the previous round.
76.5.
Came out way too early on the back 2.5. But kept the 9.
Yes,
First counting 9 of the evening.
that's right. And at just 19, learning those lessons, learning to compete.
It won't be his last time on this stage. Lyle Yost. Biggest DD of his list, in with 2.5 pike.
So beautiful. He makes that 1 meter dive look like a 3 meter dive.
Judges awards 6.5, 7, 7, 6.5, 8.5, 7.
Throws the hammer down and opens up a healthy lead.
Healthy lead. But as we have seen for the first 5 rounds, anything can happen. We've had some big hits and some big misses. And that tends to be the way the men compete 1 meter.
Starting the final round, Jacob 53-35D.
Jacob Jones. Finishing out with reverse 1.5 of 2.5 twists.
Good solid dive, a little bit fluffy on the entry. But he has had a great finals tonight.
Judges awards 5.5, 5.5, 5, 6, 5.5.
And all day long.
6.5.
An amazing achievement to get into this final, and he's dived like he belongs here. An amazing list from Jacob Jones. He can go home happy.
Hold it. 51, 52 B.
The man from Purdue, Holden Higby. Forward 2.5 with 1 twist for his final dive.
He got a fantastic hurdle. Beautiful dive. What a great way to end this list for Holden.
75.2.
8.5. Total award 75.20.
Coach Badai is going to like that one.
Yes, he is. There's not much to dislike about that one.
Max.
Following up,
51, 52 B.
Max Flory with the same dive. That full out. 2.5 with 1 twist.
Great final dive from Max. He has struggled with his hurdle this competition. It wasn't a great hurdle, and he still did a great job with that dive.
7.
And when you fail a dive, you have to really take a deep breath, shake it off, and get back out there. And to finish with a 67.2, big credit to Max Flory there.
Yeah, because that is much easier said than done.
Nicholas Harris now has a real chance at the podium. Of course, took third in 2023 on the 1 meter.
That hurdle got a little bit away from him on the start, but he sure did save it for a great final dive.
And he moved so fast in the air.
He knew what he had to do, because his hurdle did not give him much to work with.
Total award 59.2.
Sets the bar at 745.45 with 4 men to dive. Starting with Collier Dyer.
51, 52 B.
He's doing a forward 2.5 with 1 twist. Fought back nicely in round 5.
And a great final dive from Collier.
8, 7 and 1/2, 8.
And he did his best to catch Nicholas Harris, but finishes just 5 points behind. So Harris maintains the lead as we move to Jack Ryan. Jack qualified in 3rd.
Jack, 53, 35.
Needs a big one if he's going to finish in 3rd.
Takeoff, beautiful in the air, just a little bit fluffy on the bottom.
Judges award 7, 7.5, 7, 7.5, 7.
With a little bit of a cleaner entry, we could have seen those 9s.
What a takeoff. Got so high into the air. He went for it.
He went for it.
Just a little over at the end of that dive. Puts him at 7.35. Will put him into third place temporarily. Max Miller finishing out with a forward 2.5 with 1 twist.
And another solid dive.
Judges awards 7.5, 8, 6.5, 7.
Such power coming off the board. He touches the board to the water.
Max finishes with 725.2 points. Collier Dyer, he's going to stay on the podium.
He's going to stay on the podium.
That's his first senior national podium finish. Massive well done to Collier. And now Lyle Yost.
105B.
Started his diving career at American Flyers Diving. Had a great college career at Ohio State.
Beautiful front 2.5 pike. Great entry.
And Lyle Yost
It's enough.
is your 2025 1 meter national champion. He does it again.
Did it again. He loves 1 meter.
He can actually do an even harder dive, a forward 2.5 with 2 twists. Looks like he played it slightly safer by his standard today.
That's right, because this was still a very impressive list.
And Nicholas Harris improves on his 3rd place in 2023. Takes him an amazing 2nd today.
Fun event. Really high degree of difficulty, some really beautiful dives. And I feel like they all went for it. The misses were with big intention.
And 1 meter is always a good warm-up for the next few days, where we're going to see 10 meter platform diving and 3 meter springboard.
Congratulations.
We won't see Lyle though, he just chose to compete 1 meter this year. So somebody else has the opportunity to take home the gold medal on 3 meter. Stay tuned because we have 2 podium ceremonies, starting with the women's 1 meter final.
you your women's 1 meter medalists. Your bronze medalist with a score of 5:18.30, it's Sophie Verzile.
Bringing you live from our women's 1 meter podium. Sophie Verzile taking the bronze, 5:18.3, and there is Haley Hernandez taking a great silver with 522.65.
National champion in the women's 1 meter with the score of 534.85, Anna Kwong.
And your national champion on 1 meter, Anna Kwong. And she earned that top spot with an amazing final round dive, a forward 3.5 tuck for over 60 points.
Great competition from all of the women tonight. Degree of difficulty stepped in at the end.
Anna, the Winter National 3 meter champion. This is her first time topping the podium on the 1 meter. A very experienced podium. Well done to Anna, Haley, and Sophie. We're going to see them again on the 3 meter springboard.
Lots of good diving left to come.
Great atmosphere in Auburn. The divers are happy to be here.
And I think these glow-in-the-dark trophies are really giving them some of this good energy.
It'll be the last thing they see when they go to bed at night.
That's right.
I'm going to turn my trophy off.
What a great thing to have to say.
Resetting the podium now. We will be back with the men in just a few moments.
Now, introducing your men's 1 meter finalists. Presenting your awards today, the Sport Development Director.
Podium ceremony
Mr. Anthony
for the men's 1 meter final.
Your bronze medalist with a score of 740.70, Colin Dyer.
All smiles for this man, Collier Dyer. His first senior national podium at a USA diving meet. Can't get the grin off his face.
No, and inched his way up. He came into this in 4th place.
Diving from Mizzou. Great achievement for them. Your silver medalist, Nicholas Harris. He was third here in 2023. 2 years later, back on the podium in second.
2025 USA Diving National Champion in the men's 1 meter with a score of 766.7 points, Lyle Yost.
And the king of 1 meter does it again. Lyle Yost. From American Flyers Diving to Ohio State, a long and experienced career for Lyle.
And the only time we will see him in this Nationals.
Opting to stay just on the 1 meter for competitions in 2025. It paid off.
It paid off. Just a fantastic list from all three of these men, battling into those top spots.
And again, just a great story for Collier there in third, and Mizzou University. That's all from us at USA Diving today. We'll be back with live commentary on Thursday. We have 2 days now of preliminaries and semi-finals for individual 3 meter and 10 meter events. They will be live streamed. Stay tuned to USA Diving YouTube and Facebook to catch the action. Good night from me and Kerry.